Okay, folks, we are back for fraction lesson 5. And this is where we really start to approach being able to add all different types and subtract all types of fractions. So, common denominators. So, first thing is to pay attention to the words. Common means same, and denominator means bottom number. So that's pretty much all we're caring about at this point, is we're wanting to find a number that is the same between the denominators we want to add or subtract. So equivalent fractions we should be pretty comfy with, and then doing a little drag and drop on the next slide. So let's just see. So 2/3 is the same thing as 10 what's. So what would be your denominator here? So 2 times 5 is 10, so then 3 times 5 is 15. So conveniently that one would just go there. And you would continue all the way through for all of those. And I corrected those as part of your page that you did. So just drag and drop. I don't think there are any that I really needed to talk about. Just remember whatever you multiply the bottom by. So for example, I just jumped over here. 5 times 3 is 15. That's what you multiply the top by. 3 times 3 is 9. So you would have dragged the 9 over. So in fraction lesson 2, we learned about adding subtracting fractions easy as long as the bottom numbers are the same. Okay, this was a little refresher in case you forgot. Typical example is the old pizza example, where if you have a pizza cut into 6 pieces, 2 of them, and there was 2 pieces left here, 1 piece is left there. In total, there were 3 out of the 6 pieces left over, which would also be equivalent to 1/2. 3/6 is the same thing as 1/2. Okay, adding and subtracting is easy. You just add the top and bottom, keep the add the top numbers, and keep the bottom numbers the same. Okay, so 2 plus 1 is 3. 6 and 6 means our denominator is 6. Sadly, that's not how it always goes. We often have different numbers on the bottom when we're adding or subtracting fractions. So this is where we're actually going to have to do a little bit of work. It's not just as simple as saying 2 plus 1 is 3, keep the bottom number, because we can't keep the bottom number if there's 2 different numbers. So what we need to find is a common denominator. So basically we need to find an equivalent fraction that will work for both the fractions we want to add or subtract that has the same bottom number. Okay, so there's a couple methods here that the Math Addicts guy talks about. They're really good. Go back and watch them again if you're getting confused. But basically, when you're looking at a pair of fractions, you only care about these bottom numbers. So the 4 and the 5 are all I'm really looking at when I'm finding a common denominator. The 3 and the 2, that's going to come later. So if I want to find a common denominator for something out of fourths and something out of fifths, I basically am going to break out my multiplication chart and make my list of multiplying by 4s, then my list of multiplying by 5s, and I'm going to find the number that is common to both of those lists. If you don't want to make the list, that's fine. You're welcome to just take your fingers and run them down the columns until you find a number that's the same in the 4 column and the 5 columns. The same thing here. In the 7 column and the 2 column, the number that overlaps is 14. Alright, let's do number 9. The first number you're going to find that overlaps in the 4 column and the 8 column is 8. You may also find another one though. The other one that would work would be 16 would also work. And then a whole bunch of other ones. Okay, so there's multiple common denominators actually for every number here. Quick note about number 5, number 10, and number 12. So when you're dealing with whole numbers like 1, 7, and 3, you have to change them into fractions first before you can find the common denominator. But the easy thing is that every whole number is just a fraction over 1. So 7 minus 1/4 is really 7 over 1 minus 1 over 4. So then your common denominator would be between 1 and 4. It would be 4, would be your simplest one. Okay, so then this is where you checked your answers. So then yes, so 10 and 12 I got a lot of questions about, and it was usually just from people not being sure what to do with the whole number. So this is the don't panic screen. It's going to be okay. We're going to keep doing it. How you get better at these, sadly, is doing them over and over and over again. So if you need some help, let me know and keep practicing. And then it was just your feedback slide. So that's common denominators. There's a million videos online. Look them up if you're not understanding what is happening, and keep practicing and check in with me if you need any help. Okay, hope that helped. Bye.